I'm here. Oh, yay. I've already boo-booed. This is great. Welcome, everybody. I forgot to take that off. Gee whiz. Okay. So, hey, everyone. Welcome. Scotch on the Bayou, Leanne here, and welcome to the live show. Had to keep you guessing there, right? I'm super excited about tonight because it's a chance for me to start to learn more about something that I've just kind of played around the periphery of, and that is Irish whiskey. So we can talk today about particularly Irish whiskeys that a Scotch drinker would like. There's a lot of some similarities, when let's just say when you are drinking something and you kind of get in that habit of the one thing, whether your whiskey journey, which we talked about last week, takes you the bourbon route or rye or Scotch or Irish or other types of American whiskeys, however that works for you, you kind of get into a point where you like what you like, and you may not venture out very much for some other things. When I came back from Scotland wanting to know more about Scotch, I was like, all about Scotch. I already knew kind of where it was on bourbon, and that's fine. I have since started to have some bourbon that I like and enjoy, and usually it has a higher malt mash bill. So there's that. But I needed to be more aware of other whiskeys. And so this is a really good way to branch out and learn more, particularly about the different Irish whiskeys. If on a clear day on Isla, on the southern tip of Isla, if you kind of look towards the southwest, you can actually see Ireland from there. And it lends itself, things were switched back and forth between the islands as whiskey was created and as it has evolved into what it is today. And we're going to talk about a couple of drams that, are one in particular that was made by someone who's been making Scotch for a long time. But yeah, so I have quite a few friends who partake in Irish whiskey. And, I had always really pretty much stayed in my Scotch sandbox. So tonight we're breaking out. We're doing the whole Slàinte, y'all. And we're going to talk about Irish whiskeys. And let's see who's here. Thank y'all for being here. We've got 21 in already, 2 on Facebook. Awesome. So Mark JG and Zach Andrews, my buds. If you didn't see last week's live show, go watch the replay. The 3 of us talk about our whiskey journey, and they are just, they're my heart. Hey, Katie, great. Cheers to see you. And Jimmy Jazz is here. Awesome. John Krantz, thanks so much. Donner Pass Whiskey. I understand about watching at work. It's a little hard to when you can't partake, right? But yes, Redbreast 15, delicious. And thank you so much for being here and watching on the replay. We've got Chad Anderson. Good hello from Canada. Great seeing you there. And my buddy down south in the Bayou, that would be Trooper Henry, way down in the Thibodaux area. Good deal. Thanks so much for Pinch Hitter Whiskey. Yay. Finally made it to one of Leanne's live streams. Thank you very much, Pinch Hitter. I really appreciate that. Whiskey Lounge. Awesome. Check that out. Cool. So yeah, we're going to have, got some good folks in. We got Jim in from Indiana, and let's see. And this is one of my bourbon buddies here in Baton Rouge, Austin. Austin is learning. He's got a definite palate for Scotch. We just have to keep him from combining Lafroig and Coke. Don't get me started. I'm not a snob. I'm not being a snob about that, but he knows I yank his chain often about that. Awesome. And here's my buddy down in Australia. Hello, Bradley. How are you? Hope the bees are doing well. Good deal. Let's see. Alex England, thanks again for being here. I appreciate it. Awesome. And then we've got this guy, George. What, George? I'm saving my Irish for the weekend. Okay. OESK for you tonight. Okay. Awesome. Let's see what else. Hey, Zach Andrews. Good seeing you, friends. Thank you. And we've got also, hey, Brian. Hey, Kilco. make sure you check him out in his live streams. So wonderful. Yeah, so different Scotch and with Irish whiskey definitely have some differences. And different isn't bad. And I think, I've heard some folks will say, "Oh, I don't like Irish as well. It's not as robust as Scotch," and kind of go on. And it's all preference, right? It's all what your palate and what you really particularly like. There are some definite differences between Irish and Scotch whiskeys. Irish is triple distilled usually, where Scotch is double distilled. There's always exceptions, I think is it Octosian is triple distilled, and like Mortlock it's like 2.5. I think even Hazelburn might even be 3 at times. So and there are a couple of Irish whiskeys that are double distilled. The mash bill is a bit different. When you look at it, I'm used to single malt whiskeys. So, all malted barley, whereas the pot still is part malted and unmalted barley and maybe even have some grains in there. So you never know. But the similarities too are it's got to be at least 40% ABV in 3 years. And so we have some really cool selections tonight. I'm excited about. Um, Speaking of Austin, our bourbon club here in town, we I talk about y'all all the time. We had basically an advent calendar for Irish whiskey. So this 17 days of Irish, and that resulted in a bag o' Irish. So we had one for every day. As you can tell, I'm woefully behind. But some unbelievable drams that we were able to get by pooling together, and it was one flat fee, and everybody, pitched into lots of folks pitched in to get it all organized. But it gives everyone an idea and a taste of 17 different Irish whiskeys without having to buy 17 bottles. And I think that's an absolutely brilliant idea. And kudos to Austin and David and Dorothy and all of our crew that run our fabulous Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. So I've got 2 of those drams tonight that I'm gonna to go into. But first, I want to welcome our guest, and this is an acquaintance. I can't wait until I get to meet her in real life because I feel like I've known her for years through the chat on other channels, particularly the Scotch for Dummies. And that would be Miss Lana Sutton. Hello, my friend, and welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for having
Awesome.
me.
Oh yeah. I'm super excited about it because I think I'm trying to remember. It was on the Dummies live show, Scotch for Dummies live show, and you had made a comment about some Irish whiskey, and I was like, "Whoa, she knows what she's she knows what she's talking about," and that is because whiskey has been in your life for a while, right?
It has, yes. But
So
I
tell
haven't really delved into it as deeply until a few years ago, actually. So,
well tell me like how what your whiskey journey was like.
well, I used to drink it with my dad, and like Chivas Regal was the payday bottle he would get, and we would drink, have that. And bourbons, Wild Turkey, back in the day when it was really good. And, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was something we did together.
Mhm.
So that's, I guess, what made it really special for me. So, through the years, like college, you don't really appreciate all of that stuff. You just
No.
appreciate what's cheap. So
No.
I was drinking, a lot of the cheap stuff and not really so much into Scotch. But I don't know, like maybe like 2015 or so, a friend of mine, I met another friend that was really excited about whiskey, and he
Mhm.
actually has he collects prohibition whiskeys, and we
Wow.
were talking about scotches, and he's like, "Oh, you like Scotch? You should try the Balvenie 12. That's a great entry level because I've had the Glenfiddicks and the
Mhm.
regular Glens you can
For the
get
mass
everywhere. And that was
produced stuff,
something new
yeah.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so once I had a taste of that, it was like my eyes were open, and I'm like, I must drink all of it. So I just tried everything. And then I would go on Twitter and Facebook and like find all the brand ambassadors, see if I could get them to come to Tampa for a tasting, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's gotta be tastings in town, right? Because
Right.
stuff is huge, right? Um, so
Cool.
I would tweet them, and then eventually I got them to come. I met
You're
David Laird.
pleasantly persistent is what I'm hearing, that you're pleasantly
Yes,
persistent to said
I
it would be in
was.
your
I
best
was.
interest to get to Tampa and bring some whiskey and show all your wares because,
Oh,
yeah, y'all got quite a group there
yeah.
from what I can tell
Yeah,
online.
Tampa Bay Whiskey Society. So I found them. They were started in, I think, 2014. I didn't find them till maybe 2016 or 2017. And
Yeah.
just active, asking questions all the time. Are you guys having tastings? When are you having tastings? Has anybody tried this whiskey or that? I mean, just everywhere. And either they got sick of me, or they were like, let's put this energy to good use and let's
We've
bring
got a
her on
job for
board.
you.
And they're like, we need help setting up tastings. Would you like to do that? And I'm like,
Right.
absolutely. I have no idea what I'm doing, but yeah, I haven't drank a lot of whiskeys, but I'm thinking this is a great
Could do
way
that. Yeah.
to start that. And so it just took off from there. And right
Awesome.
around that time, I started looking online too for like other people to talk whiskey about, because a lot of my friends, they're just into the fireball and they're into those kind of things. And so I'm like, all right, I got to find my own whiskey drinking friends. And went to YouTube. And I have one of Scotch Troopers Glencairn's, because I also love Star Wars, and his account was one of the very first that I saw and I started following. And he kind of hooked me into Scotch test dummies.
Yes.
And I just love those two guys. Like, I felt so comfortable with them. I feel like I'm having a dram with them. We're just hanging out. We're talking whiskey in their basement. And that's exactly the community I was looking for.
Right.
Um, yeah. And so I met a lot of these people in the chat.
Yeah.
Finally got to meet some in person at their anniversary get together. I hope to see them all then. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I wanted to show this glass off as a tribute, just so he knew that we were still thinking about him. So
Yeah. Well, that was a dog. And my apologies if y'all can
it's
hear
okay.
the pack barking in the backyard. But so this is our first dram. Is that what you poured first?
Yep, that's what I have.
Awesome.
Don't ask me how to pronounce it.
Lustau. Lustau. It's the sherry finish. It's the single pot still of Redbreast, and it's sherry matured first fill Oloroso at 46%. Again, triple distilled, and the mash bill is malted and unmalted barley. And in honor of you having Scotch Trooper and Brent, and God bless him and all the joy that he gave to us in a very short life on this earth, the
Yes,
Scotch test dummies is what I'm drinking out of
awesome.
because they were his bud big time and helped do a lot of fundraising for he and his family. And so Slàinte to remembering Brent.
Mm.
Let's catch up. I see we got quite a few people and I'm woefully behind again. So just want to say, hey, there's oh, Mary B's in. Hey, Red Spot tonight.
I
I
have
think
that.
that might have an
I have
appearance
that.
here in a little bit. Good to see you here, Mary. And this guy, hey, Drew, good to see you. Thanks for being here, friend. And an unofficial made it to a live show. Yes, you're here. Thank you so much. The unofficial Neil McCoy. Please do sing us a song over some drams one day, would you? Great having you here. That's cool. And oh, here's another great channel over in Paris, I believe you are, Greg, correct? Tell me if you're right. So super late. It is 2 a.m. God love you, honey. Thank you for from Paris. He's got a great channel. He's very in depth on his reviews, and he also pairs it with some really cool music. So please check him out. Thanks so much, friend, for being here. I appreciate that too much. Um, Goodness gracious. And let's see who else I have in here. So, oh dear. So yeah, so what are you thinking about this, like on the nose? And
Oh,
so I think this is a particularly good one for Scotch drinkers because of the sherry.
yes,
Um,
definitely.
Redbreast has sherry in most all of it, I believe, but this one is quite sherry forward.
Yes. I think that's why it's one of my favorites. The sherry is just my wheelhouse,
Mhm.
so to speak.
So 40%. I think Irish gets a bad rap sometimes for being kind of thin or lighter. And the triple distillation that would make sense, right? Because every time you're distilling, the spirit's getting thinner and lighter and more effervescent, if you will. Um, so that kind of makes sense because only the lightest vapors are going up into the line arm. But this has
Yeah,
some meat to it, and I don't know if it's
yeah.
because of the sherry casking. Lustau is the bodega in Spain that they've had this collaboration with for a long time, and you do get on the noses kind of stewed fruits and like a plum and raisin.
I'm
Which is,
tasting all of those.
yeah, and it's got a little. The finish is there. I mean, it's just kind of hanging
Oh,
on a little bit, right?
I'm still, yeah, yeah. And I think Irish whiskey, to me, it seems like it's just exploded over the past couple of years. Because to me, Irish whiskey was Jameson,
Hmm.
and after a while, I just couldn't. Once I started drinking better Irish whiskey, like I could never go back to Jameson, and that's probably why most people are, are not wanting to really get into it because all they think of is like Jameson, and because it's really readily available, you can go into any bar and
Yeah.
find it. Um, but yeah, I think it was a nice surprise when people have something other than Jameson and they're like, "Holy cow, I didn't know." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Irish whiskey is amazing."
It's
You know?
like someone having some a scotch other than Dewar's.
Right.
You know, there's a
Well,
whole
it's a
world
little
out
I
there.
mean, it's a little less expensive, or it can be too. So people that don't want to really splurge on, a bottle of scotch, they can try, Redbreast 12. I mean, even that's great.
Yeah. So, how much is? I don't know. I didn't get a cost on what this bottle is. Do you recall?
So, um, it was a gift, so I'm not sure.
Nice gift. I
Yeah.
thought that's some nice
It's the
brand.
first time I've opened it too. I mean, I've had it elsewhere, but my own bottle, I haven't opened it. But I'm like, oh, that'll be so nice to get into. Now it's open, and my
Yeah,
husband's been waiting for me to open it. So,
it's
pricing,
it's a little hotter on the back end than I thought it would be.
mm, what I like,
But
it pretty much hits my whole palate too. It's not just one side. It's not just sweet or the sour, but maybe mostly on the back. But I'm tasting it all over, and it's really great.
yeah. So Bobby J says, well, I agree. After having the Redbreast 12 last week, Scotch for Dummies, if y'all didn't check that out, go back because Bobby J was actually at the bar in the basement.
Yeah,
It is, yeah, that
I'm
is
jealous.
such a really good ram.
Yeah. Yeah, it only gets better from there too.
Yeah,
But it
this
is a
is
great
very,
everyday.
this is very
Are you
warming.
feeling that? Well, I started drinking it before I got on camera, so
So you're
I'm
pre-gaming.
warm
That's what you're saying.
now. I
Pre-gaming is
feel
good.
good. I
Mm.
feel good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think, I mean, Redbreast is kind of a big name, but it's a marked step up from your Jamesons and your entry level kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah,
That
definitely. I want to say around $80.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
50 to 80. I guess it depends on where you get it.
Yeah. So
50 to 80.
my buddy with the fly on the
Okay,
Google.
yeah.
Thank you,
There we
friend.
go. Perfect. Thank you,
About
Zach.
75. So if it's 75 in Houston, where Zach is, then it's probably about 85 in Baton Rouge. We're usually a little higher than that. And Brian agrees. Redbreast is glorious. It really is. I mean, it's just solid. It's not like, oh well, the 12s or the 15's good, but everything else kind of falls off. You get what you get with each
Yes.
of those
All
iterations.
through the line. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So let me know in the comments about which of the Redbreast. I guess the base core group would be the 12, the 15, and then the Lustau. And I know there's some cast strength ones out there. I wouldn't mind having a.
Oh, I haven't
uh,
had that yet, but it's on my list.
yeah. I can't. I'm a high ABV fangirl. I can't help it.
Well, for me, after drinking, well, I never used to drink bourbon at all because, wild turkey, that's what I would have with my dad. He loved it so much. So I'm like, bourbon, you know.
Yeah.
But with the whiskey group, I had to drink it because most of
Right.
our tastings were bourbon because that's what our members are interested in, right? We're very bourbon heavy in Tampa.
Yeah, we are too.
I've been trying to move them away from that, but they seem reluctant, but that's okay.
Well,
So I tasted a lot of bourbon, but I think what it is after you drink so much of the, what is it, 50% ABV or whatever the generic,
yeah, the
ABV
bonded. Yeah.
is, um, then you want something stronger because then it all starts tasting the same, which is the problem that I have with bourbon. Like after a while, it
Yeah.
just tastes all the same to me. Oak, vanilla, caramel, right? So,
Well,
that's when I moved into cask strength bourbons, and I really enjoy those so much because they have all the flavors. But I
yeah.
have to stop drinking bourbon if I'm going to do a tasting with Irish whiskey or Scotch because it just blows my palate out, and because of those strong flavors that I like from bourbon.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the sugar, or the sweetness of it, at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
in there, kind of throws mine off. So Greg is saying I still have some Redbreast to review. He's going to be doing the 21 and the 25 cast strength. Oh my heavens, the
wow.
2005, it's a cracker, and some Irish. Awesome. Well, that'll be look
I'm
forward to
jealous.
that. So Zach is helping out our other folks for Australia. That's probably going to be about 104 US dollars, 150 there.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but available, like you could find it. It's
Yes.
not like it's some unicorn. it's,
Exactly.
I
That's
mean,
what I love about these whiskeys too, is
yeah,
that there's no fighting over them. Like people are not, you know, trying to outbid people, and like there's not a huge
yeah.
secondary market for this stuff because you can find it anywhere. And
I,
it's
I,
good.
I find this stuff is I tend to sip more Scotch and drink more Irish.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty easy. And I don't know
So
if it's
easy.
that triple distillation, something else, that's kind of going
That's
on
I
there.
think that's a lot of it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't lose the complexity to it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, I haven't had, all of the Irish whiskeys, and there were a lot on your list that I have never even heard of before, and that I need to like go out and try.
Yeah.
But you know, I, I don't know. I think it's wonderful. It's just getting so popular now.
Well, I'm going to pour we're going to do that other one that we talked about, that
Okay.
Rouge. I love in Baton Rouge, also known as Red Stick, and we'll have some Red Spot here in a bit. But I wanted to so this is one of ours. This was day 10, which would have been last Thursday. And this is, you get there. This was come on. And this was the Waterford Dunmore. I don't think it's gonna do. Maybe not. Okay. Anyway, it's 100 proof, so 50 ABV. And so Waterford is a big they've kind of gone all in. It was started by Mark Rainier, that after he sold Brooklighty, and parted ways there. He went over to Ireland and started Waterford, and their whole thing is terroir. It's all about data, and I say that, I mean, this distillery, it is a statistician's dream because they collect every bit of data that they can, from the where the barley was grown, what farm, when it was planted, when it was harvested, how long it's seeped, to the point of the fermentation and the temperatures. All of that for the bottle, for those offerings are available. All that data is available on their website. It is amazing. And if you want a more in-depth look at that distillery, the Scotch test dummies went over, but I think even before they had their first offering out on the market, and did a tour with them. Then subsequently went over to Isla and met with Roy. But their video on that is really interesting, and how Waterford is just really all bought in. This Dunmore is it's kind of a it's an interesting. It's like a smorgasbord casking, which is odd, but it's casking of ex bourbon, French oak, virgin oak, and ex wine casks. So it's like Heinz 57 when it comes to that, and 100% malted barley. So where it's not pot still, where you have malted and unmalted, this is just all malted, very much in the style of Scotch. And I'm getting a lot of grapefruit off of it, grapefruit and honey, and definitely kind of a cereal note to it. And this is pretty young. I think it's almost 4 years old. It's very sweet on the front, almost like an orange candy, and then it's got a little spice, not a real long finish. But I want to show everybody my little mini cognac glass. I got a set of these at a garage sale. They're Hungarian glass.
Nice.
Probably from the 30s or 40s. And I got 5 for $2. So these are some of my favorite glasses.
Those are beautiful. Yeah, my one of my favorite places here, Davidoff, they have those. That's what I drink whiskey out of when we go there. And I love them. And I thought, I need those. And my husband's like, you don't need any more glasses. Because I have every Glencairn almost that there is. So, but I'm like, I don't have those. They're so nice.
That's a hoot. So Brian's saying that his now you're up in Rhode Island in the east, so I think you get a little bit better pricing on stuff.
That's really
around
nice.
$50. Wow. For the 12. We've yet to do a blind with it. Oh, that should be a really good thing. Prefer to do many other. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of need to drink what we got, right? Because got a couple bottles back here that haven't even been opened yet. And then Andrew's going to help us out over in the UK. So about 50 pounds is $65. Yep. I have a converter calculator in my brain, Andrew. I'm thinking we're going to try to get back over there in the fall, and I keep looking at the exchange rate and trying to do math in my head.
Yeah, I wanted to do the Scotland tour with the Scotch for Dummies, and that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can get that going.
One day we can maybe do that again. So Chad says one of his top whiskeys of last year was the Kensington Wine Market bottling of a 16-year-old Teeling with first fill bourbon. So my question to you, Chad, is was that comparable to a first fill bourbon Scotch, like a Highland Scotch? Was that kind of up there with that, or was like the triple distillation of that just completely different, like texture or feel? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. this is where I geek over this kind of stuff. I started thinking, well, if it was like that, did it taste, like a Highland? So very interesting all on that. Very cool. Um, let's see. I want to say hey to Grace down in the Pigeon. Good to see you, Grace. Thanks for being here. Um, let's see who else is on here. Um, so Greg also says, "Hi, Lana. Nice one. Which one were you talking about then, Lana?
The Bushmills
Lana?
16. I had that one on deck.
Okay.
I know you had mentioned Bushmills in that list that you gave me.
Yeah, we had a couple of those. Yeah.
It's pretty good. We had a Bushmills tasting too. And I like the little older Bushmills. I think those are really nice, very nice. So I bought that one.
Yum.
And now I'm drinking the Red Spot.
So yes, I do have some nice glassware. I have I I'm like Lana, I have too many glasses. I was telling her on the last trip to Scotland, I came home with 9 Glencairns, including 1 Ardbeg
Love
Copita
it.
glass that made it. They all made it. I'm so impressed that I didn't have shattered glass coming across the Atlantic. But yeah, and I think that makes it fun too. The different types of vessels you can drink out of. Um, yeah, lots of
I
fun.
love it. I was looking at your how to make a Glencairn carry with your tubes because of course, I have tons of those. Like I'm sure everyone. And I'm like, what?
Right.
What do I do with these? Um, but I was like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. They're
Yeah.
really cute when you cut
I'm
them
taking a
down.
pile of them to the camp
Love
this weekend, to cut down, and then I'm gonna spray paint them and put some Scotch on the Bayou stickers on them.
I love it. That's
I'm gonna be
perfect.
working on getting, new Glencairn glasses for Scotch on the Bayou because 'cause I've had some folks want them, and, that's the best way to ship them too, and then I could put that in a box, and then they have a carrier. So
Yeah,
it's perfect.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some of those.
Cool. So, hey, Chris, good to see you, friend. He said, "Hi, all. Someone say Bushmills." So he's having the 16 in
Nice.
his glass right now. That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good deal. Man, but yeah, so this is interesting. It does taste very young. I mean, it's much thinner than the consistency. This Waterford Dunmore is much thinner. It's hotter, a little hotter, 50 as opposed to 46, but it's it's definitely a thinner consistency, lighter. But it's interesting. I'm not going to turn it down. That's for sure.
I never turn down whiskey.
Mm-mm. I'll say please and thank you. May I have some more, please?
Exactly.
With my southernized Cockney accent. How's that for fun, huh? That's great. So, what's going to be our second dram?
Well, I have the Red Spot right now. Um,
Okay.
and I've had the green and the yellow.
Hmm.
The red is my favorite, I think, just because it is the sherry and Marsala wine cask finish. And, again, the sherry, that's what I love. Um, it's so nice.
So, I didn't have any, and our club did a barrel pick. I went and found that and grabbed that of oh. hmm, Fighting 69, something like that. Anyway, um, if Austin's still on, he can tell everybody what it was. But they just happened to have these, so I was like, "Well, hey." So, in the spirit of Roy,
I love it.
see how this.
Mine has been open and shared for a while at
Mm,
one birthday party and one night, so not too bad.
oh man, rich. So, hey, Rich. Let's see. Oop. Cheers. Good to see you too. And we've got need a scotch in my oven mitt. That's different. I don't know about that. And hey, Rich, finally made it for the Conera 12. Now that's peated, isn't it? I want to say it is. And that's something you don't necessarily you don't see a lot of, I guess, in proportion. Well, I guess you don't really either on in Scotch. I mean, it is a niche. Goodness. So Trooper says, "Oh, Red Spot, I saw it at a liquor store in Wyoming for $245. Oh no, sugar, I can hook you up at locally for a lot less than that. Just let me know. I already got 2 other bottles you need to pick up at my house, boo." Yeah, wow, that's good. And then also have super late, but here, no, my friend, you're fashionably late. You're never super late. Thanks for being here. And tell me what you're drinking, Jen. I know that you were jonesing for some Irish today. So tell me what you're drinking. So, because I slosh it all over myself. It's like a little here, a little there. Oh man, this is really pretty tasty.
It's like dessert, right?
It's sweet, but it's
So
not
sweet.
it isn't over the top. I mean, I can get the sherry, but it's not, it's not it's not a sherry bomb or, something like that. It just adds a sweetness to it. It's got some definite heat on the back. That's nice. Yeah, man, and again, the finish, the Waterford finish was relatively short. It just kind of was like, oh, I'm here and now I'm not. And then this is something altogether different. Do you feel Lana, that you can distinctly tell, like in a blind, what is Irish and what is Scotch?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Well,
I should challenge myself, though.
That should be another show later down the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
If you
Jen's having
that with,
she's having the 12. Didn't get overly creative tonight. That's a good, solid choice, friend. What you talking about?
Right? Oh, it does have more of a wine finish than
It's
the
drier, huh?
rest.
Yeah, much drier. I can see. I'm guessing that's probably from not only the sherry but the marsala. Because you get the wine finish ones, to me, are very winey. I don't know. I mean, I drink some wine, but it's not like I have one with every meal or something like that.
Yeah.
And so especially like the white wines, the Montania, just different types of sherry, like that Oban last week, it's very dry on the back end for me. And I get that on this too. Sweet forward, little heat on the end. And very good. And I think, when you look at Irish and you look at different things, again, you kind of get in your rut. You kind of get the things that you like, and you go through there and you start collecting different scotches. For me, it's Scotch. So I want to, try different things. And I put my energy towards that. And I kind of want to stay in that niche, if you will. But I think at times you really do have to step out of that and see what other things are. I mean, I've
Yes.
had some Cavalons, I've had a couple of samples of Indian whiskey, but I'm not in a place where I want to go full into that. And I have many friends, many of you that are on here tonight that have gone full force on the whole spectrum of whiskey, and more power to you. Um, I just don't think I'm really there yet, because I'm still trying to figure out, you know, where my palate is along the Scotch spectrum. And you know what I know? What I think is really good about Red Spot, and especially the Lustau, is these are very Scotch drinker friendly. You know, they're much more of a comparable taste profile and even texture to it, than maybe some others than would be, especially far more than that Waterford was. I might have to have a little bit more of that. Because I didn't pour enough. I
Yeah,
wore
you
it, but
didn't, did
I
you?
didn't pour
Oh.
it. This is a very small glass. We'll just say. We'll just say it's a small glass. We have to fill it up again.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Well, fiddly dee. So I have a friend named Callie, whose grandmother, this is a Southernism for all you folk outside the Mason-Dixon line. And her grandmother would talk about Tweedle Tweedle time. And Tweedle Tweedle time is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you have your little Tweedle Tweedle time, and you have to pour yourself a drink. Um, so shout out to Callie and her sweet grandmother. God rest her soul in Natchez. But yeah, Tweedle Tweedle time. This would be a really good Tweedle Tweedle dram. Oh, very nice.
It's nice.
Greg, God love you, friend. It's 2 a.m. Go get some shut eye. Thank you so much for being here. That was so sweet of you to be here. And
Bye, Greg.
Lana and I
See you next time.
really appreciate it. Again, go check him out. He's got some great in-depth reviews. Super nice guy. Has been a friend of me since I've started, and I really do appreciate that. Um, and hey, Daniel, good seeing you. So Cohen right now, not boxer tubes, 99. Got in that question. I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll find out which one y'all are talking about, Daniel. And we got Steve Connor. Hey guys, first time checking out the channel. Steven, thank you so much for being here. And you're at Lefroy. Oh my word. I'm so happy for you to have been there, friend, because it is a magical place. That jetty that I know you're like standing right by, looking out over the water and the seaweed and the brine and the peat and all the lovely Isla goodness. Thank you so much for being here. Just had a flashback to Scotland. Can't get there fast enough. Oh my goodness. Let's see who else is in. Everybody's talking about boxes and tubes. Okay, they must be discarded at the store. Hey, Cohen. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out the so I have a video, a DIY. So like my goal in life is to be the Scotch Martha Stewart and come up with
I love it.
You know, you don't need a glue gun. You need a good exacto knife or a box cutter, and be very careful. Do not have a dram before you attempt this project. But take your tubes and cut them down to the height of a Glencairn glass, and with, you know, like a polishing cloth or some felt or whatever, bubble wrap even, you can transport your Glencairns to your next tasting event. You can drink out of real glass and not out of plastic. Hello, because if I'm a snob about anything, I don't drink out of plastic. And but then you have that Glencairn glass safe and sound, and it makes a great gift. It's a lot of fun. So check out that video. I'll put a link in the description eventually on that. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm loving this red spot. Dang out. So this did really well. The Scotch for Dummies did a Redbreast, and yeah, they did a challenge on that last week. So check out their video on that. Oh my goodness. Mm. Okay, so wait, where to go? There it is. So Steven says, "Oh, you're going to go back in June, dude. Have a blast. Go to Boonhaven for me. I still haven't made it to Boonhaven, but if you get to Ardbeg, tell Ron I said hello and make him help you bring out a bottle of Kelpie from the end of the jetty out of a lobster trap because I got to do that and it's a lot of fun. Just find some oysters and some Kelpie and you're golden. I promise. Thank you so much for being on the channel. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Okay. So uh, man. So who all has had the red spot or any of the spots of all the spots? Which spot is your favorite? I know that the dummies had some of the blue spot last week too.
I haven't had that one yet. It's hard to
Yeah,
find here in Tampa.
no, I haven't found that. So Cohen, where on the bayou is me? So I'm in Baton Rouge, which is the capital of Louisiana, and then an hour away. An hour away, we have our little weekend getaway home. We call it the camp, and so I'll actually be there. And so I've got a video coming up soon where I'm going to give a tour of the camp because the camp flooded in a horrific flood last May, and we have completely redone it, and it is really interesting that I painted the walls a subliminal turquoise of literally Brooklighty blue. It is hilarious. After I painted it, I went, "Oh my gosh, there's something to that subliminal messaging for sure."
I like it.
So Daniel H says Green Spot Chateau Leonville Baton. How do you like I added that to it? So it's my favorite. Blue Spot is right there with it. Okay, so Green Spot Chateau Louisville.
Is that a pick?
Leoville.
Is that like a store pick or a special edition? Or is it all called Chateau Leoville?
Yeah. I mean, like it was a special one, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah.
The blue spot's right there. Interesting. And then Rich says he has the yellow, the red, and the green. He likes the yellow the best, but he likes them all. You're not going to turn any of them down, are you, Rich? No way.
They're all good.
Wow, man, you like the yellow better than the red? I mean, the red's the only thing I've had.
Oh, I've had them all except for the
tell
blue.
you,
But they're all very good. They're easy to drink.
To me,
most places have.
Yeah, this is much. I can feel. I mean, I taste the thinner. Like it feels thinner than Scotch, but it is still complex. And I think that's one other issue I have when someone may say, you know, like a Highland isn't complex because it's just bourbon matured, or you know, an Irish isn't complex because triple distilled and it's going to be thin. It's like, nah, not really.
Right?
You know.
Right? Not until you try them because they're all different.
That's it. So Brian says, I've owned the green, the red spot bottles, sampled yellow, haven't had chance. Blue seems to be very elusive. I have not seen many folks who even have the blue. John's like, been through a bottle of red. It was glorious. Dude, no joke. The favorite is the Chateau Louisville Barton. Okay, so somebody's got to explain that part to me. Yeah. Like, is Green Spot all the Chateau Louisville Barton, or is it something else? And I'm probably giving that way more French than it probably should. I'm Louisiana, and that's what we do. I can't help it. I have a feeling we're all going to have a nice spot battle soon. Ooh,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I bet those dummies are gonna. I mean, let's just get real. The dummies are no dummies, if you know what I mean. They're just the most delightful guys, and they are my heart. So I just love them. But yeah, I would like to see a slugfest, King of the Hill, all spot roundup. Dun dun dun. Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be so good. So Pinch Hitter says the Green Spot Louisville Barton is finished in a Bordeaux cask. Okay. It's regularly released from the Spot series, but it's available. It tends to be ebb and flow. It's very good. Yeah, in a Bordeaux, like that Deanston 2008 Bordeaux is like one of my top 5 bottles. It is so freaking good, and that bottle did not last at all at my house. It went really fast, too fast. Um, my guardian angel over in Houston needs to find me another one. Um, so Michael says, barely have money for all the scotch. Yeah, really can't branch off into. I know it's just like there's just so many dollars, right? And you kind of have to make a decision. You want to go with what you want to go. And I think the beauty about that is in this community, you're going to find people that have other things that you might want to try. And the beauty is that other people want you to try it. So more than like you can probably get a sample from somebody on something you really might be interested in before you want to try and like really make a big, you know, investment into something that you might not really want to know about. We have a small group of guys that we pool our money together to buy a big bottle. And we've had 25-year-old, you know, Talisker and a 25-year-old Pulteney and a 25-year-old McNamore. I can't buy that bottle on my own and not get in trouble, you know, but 7 of us can get together and we've got a way to be able to do that. So there are some ways to be able to finagle that around for sure. Um, so Daniel's like, yeah, it's a special edition, that Chateau Louisville Baton. Can you tell I like to say that? I'm just like roll my R's. Uh, Cask with winemaker Chateau Louisville Baton. Okay, 46 unchill filtered. Awesome. Dang, man. I'm gonna have to try to find me some of that because you know I love a Bordeaux wine finished Scotch. Dang. And so the an Irish would be just be delightful. I bet it would be much. I can imagine it would be a lighter spirit, but with the richness of that Bordeaux and then the tannin kind of red wine finish. Ooh, man, y'all got me all verklempt here. Oh my goodness. So we have one more actually we have to get through. We're probably gonna go over a little bit. Does everybody cool with going over a little bit? Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. So we both have a Middleton to finish out, right?
Yeah.
But I have a different one than yours. You got the granddaddy, and I got the
I
first
found a great
prince.
deal on it in when I was visiting home in St. Louis, and I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't seen it at that price. I probably should grab it. So I did, and yeah, I'm very happy. And
Cool,
my
cool.
introduction to this actually to Irish whiskey again, I guess, or to real Irish whiskey. I mean, Jameson is real, but it's very different. But one of our first bottle shares from my group. So we have a minimum $200 bottle. So secondary can be 200 or it's just 200 off the shelf. But um, so you can imagine all the bourbon drinkers brought their old dusty bourbons. And one guy, he brought he brought the Middleton, the Barry Crockett here. And
So
would you
put it
know
put
it
it up
was
by your camera,
oh,
Lana. I
okay,
want
sorry.
everybody to see it.
I
Yeah.
think everybody has probably
Ooh,
seen it. I don't know.
gotta
It's
get there.
I'm
There you
ghosting
go.
out. Here we go. Okay.
So the
Yeah.
Crockett, like Barry Crockett
Yeah.
legacy.
So
Wow.
for a room full of bourbon drinkers, this was the first bottle emptied. I
Oof.
was shocked. We were all shocked. We were like, "What? I heard this Irish whiskey. You're kidding me!" Like, and and I haven't had Irish this good, and so it kind of got me to my Irish journey. Then I was like, what else can I try that I haven't tried yet? That is it within
Well,
my
so
budget and that I
you
can find at my local bar.
you kind of
And
started up here and like wove your
yeah,
way
yeah, but
around.
I'm not mad because I love this Redbreast. I love this red spot. Even the Tullamore Dew has its place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but anyway, this is one of my favorites. And again, I took it to another bottle share just recently. So the first one was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the second one was a couple years ago before COVID shut everything down. And again, a room full of whiskey drinkers, bourbon drinkers. I mean, this is I've only
Wow.
just had the dram out of there today, but I was pleasantly surprised, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, I never would have thought to try this." Like, yeah, have some. A
I
couple
do
guys
love
went
the
out and bought it.
converts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's so
love the
delicious.
converts. Those that are just, like, very much, and it goes back to my early comment, we get in our rut, right? And, we did a bottle share at our bourbon group, and I took, the Ben Riach triple cask and the Aaron 14, and, I mean, it was like a moth to a flame. Shoo. And those bourbon folk went
Yeah,
straight to it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so
yeah,
good." I'm like,
right,
"Come
right.
to the dark side.
Yeah,
Come,"
yeah,
you
that's
know?
great. Especially those people that are like, "Oh, I haven't found a scotch that I like.
Right.
I only drink
It's
bourbon,
not all
and
about
that's
what you
all I
get,
want to
folk.
drink." And like,
So
okay,
you have, the Bear Crockett, Reserve. I
very
have,
nice.
this would be the last day, of our 17 days of Irish whiskey, and it's the Middleton Very Rare 2021.
It's also very good.
It's
Honestly, I couldn't
really
tell you
nice.
how
I don't
much of
know.
a difference
Come
it
on,
is.
camera.
I like them
Anyway,
both.
it's, man, honeysuckle and like a lemon or lime citrus on the nose.
It's very light. It's much lighter.
Super light,
Mm,
like
but
like dangerously light.
yeah, yeah,
Again, for drinking.
yeah. I
Oh,
mean, to me, this is like an opening bottle. Like, if I know I'm going to have several drams, I will start with this one. It opens up my palate, and I want to be able to taste everything, because by the time you get to either cast strength or some of those more sherried, um, you would miss the subtleties of this. So,
yeah.
but
I
it's
I
like
I think you're
still,
right on with
oh,
that. Um, it is I kinda hesitate to use the word delicate because I don't think it's, like, fragile or a way of falling apart, I mean, it's got a it it's it's there, and it's not fragile at all, but it's not heavy-handed, I guess, is the best term to use. It's not heavy-handed at all. So
okay.
Daniel H. has got, the Glendella, Mizunara.
Mizunara. I
Yeah,
haven't had any of that.
unique
That's
and good.
Japanese.
I've seen it in the
Gotta
store.
try it.
Need to maybe try that, yeah. Um, so Steve's like, "Love the Middleton, especially the" I am the butcher of Gallic terms. The Diarglac Galak. I need to brush up on my Gaelic before I go back over there. Oh, I'm still so excited you're gonna go back over there. Man, dude, awesome. Hey, too slow. Good to see you. Glad you were able to make it tonight. Very much so. Um, so Daniel's also seeing the Springbank 12 cast strings 55. Oh, he was able to find that. Good for you, friend. Any spring pranks, awesome. And get back through here. Yeah, so the Middleton, man, this is very interesting. So I think that, to kind of summarize everything, it's good to kind of get out of your your niche and what you're normally used to drinking. Um, you want to there's so many things to explore. It's really hard. And especially with limited limited dollars. So, share your whiskey when you can. And it's hard when we're all over across the nation. I know I have shipped some Louisiana hot sauce on more than a few occasions with a bag of jambalaya mix to kind of counteract some
Nice.
sound issues. And it makes you feel good to be able to share that. And try to, even if you go to a whiskey bar and try something different. Don't maybe go for your everyday, oh, I know that's a safe dram. Live a little and try to get out. I know some places have like a half price night at whiskey bars. If you're ever in Chattanooga, I know this is random, but if you're ever in Chattanooga, there's a absolutely sorry, Knoxville, not Chattanooga, Knoxville. It's called the Jig and Reel. Thursday nights, that's the night to be there. Half price drams because you can try different things or try a flight of different things, something that is above and beyond or away from your norm. But when you do that, like check your mind at the gate and really have an open mind about it. Don't think something is going to taste like what you're used to. If you're used to bourbon, Scotch is not going to taste like bourbon. Irish is not going to taste like bourbon because it's not bourbon. You know, the same thing as if you're wanting to get into bourbon, don't think it's going to be a salty malty, briny Isla, or West Coast Scotch or something like that. Have that open mind that what you're going to experience is in of itself what the creators wanted it to be. Um, that's one thing, like with cast strength whiskeys, and I guess with all whiskeys to that degree, I like to drink them as they came in the bottle first and foremost, because that's how the distiller wanted it to be presented. And as you drink that and as you get that presentation, then you can decide if you want to alter it and do something else, add water, etc. This Definitely on this Waterford, I'm gonna add it's a 50 ABV. I'm gonna add a little drop or two here in a little bit just to kind of see if it did anything else. But man, now this Milton is definitely divine. Let's see what else.
Yeah, if you see it on sale, pick it up.
Yeah.
You
So
will
what does
love it.
that bottle? Because I looked at that bottle online and that was some bank on that bottle. I was like, oh, she's drinking this.
I don't
Maybe I
know.
can
I got
find
it right around
no.
200, right around
Yeah.
200. So
That's all,
that,
that's a good
of
price.
course, this was like 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is now with tariffs and all that stuff. But
Well,
I
hopefully
didn't
those
think
are
that was
supposed to be
bad.
gone now. Yeah, for sure. Goodness. Let's see. Michael's saying, Scotch by sending a friend of mine who's just getting interested in whiskey. Numerous samples, a massive variety. Dude, Brian, I'm sure you've got quite a collection, and that is one lucky friend of yours. Well, any friend of yours is lucky, but that particular one just hit bank to get all those. And what a great gift to be able to give somebody to have that exposure of different things, you know. Um, so Cohen says the 12 cast strength is around soon. All in the States predict it's not much any than the Kelcairn 8 bourbon cask stuff. Interesting. Chris. Glenn Levitt and Chevis Real 18. I'm trying to get her to get. Oh, no, you said you're trying to get your girlfriend into whiskey, but she's not feeling it. And that's okay. I mean, she may like it, she may not, but I think it's really cool that you're trying to expose her to different things because, quite frankly, women have kind of been told you're not supposed to drink whiskey, and you're helping her understand that she can drink anything she wants to. If she doesn't feel like drinking it, that's okay too. Um, but yeah, either one of those are really good. Awesome. But yeah, so we're definitely over time. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I think there's so much to really look into Irish. The ones that we had tonight definitely lend themselves to someone who has a palate for Scotch. With the sherry on the Lustau, on the Redbreast Lustau, the sherry is really there, very forward. Even with that red spot, I mean, that wine finish and the dryness on that, I mean, super right up there with a different type of casking finish for a Scotch whiskey drinker. And this Middleton, though it's light, it has some depth and some layers to it that probably would challenge a Scotch drinker to just sit and try to be patient with it instead of wanting something bold and knocking them over the head, you know? Goodness, let's see. So Drew says the Deanston 18 is tasting good tonight, more wood than usual. So is that so? Drew, I'm interested. Is that a new version of the Deanston 18 or the older version? I have the older version, and I would never turn any of them down. And Drew and I particularly care for the Deanston 20. We kind of polished that off at the Bastards Ball at the vault. Bobby J says currently 2 hours and 43 minutes from Knoxville. Wonder if I can make it in 5-hour round trip tomorrow afternoon. You know, I would almost say it's worth it. It's very, you know, they have an Irish band on one night and a Scottish band on another night. It's a fabulous. Look them up on Instagram and online. You can't go wrong. They have a restaurant. They have Scottish and Celtic type food, pub food. And my husband and I went to a music festival in Chattanooga, which is why I was thinking Chattanooga first, and went to Knoxville to the Jig and Reel. And it is an SMWS friendly bar. So they have SMWS offerings as well. And they will build a custom flight for you. Super nice people. Just we had so much fun. They gave us the nice people discount. Like our receipt said, nice person discount, 10%. And they're really, truly, truly sweet people. If you're ever in that part of the country, don't hesitate to go. So yeah, road trip, Bobby J. Oh goodness. Lana. Yes, Chad. Thank you very much. Lana. Keep saying Lana. I'm so Southern. I'm like Atlanta. Lana.
Yeah.
H.
Lana.
Lana.
I prefer
Yeah.
Lana. Yeah.
Great job tonight. And I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thanks for
you doing
having me.
this.
I
It
had a
was a
lot
lot
of
of
fun. I
fun.
always have
I was
fun.
telling you, it's just like us talking, and a lot of people are going to be on.
Right.
Yeah. So, but Lana is, I think she's also very modest about what she's done, but she's really worked a lot with her club, and she's, gotten tastings and gotten people really exposed to different things. And I would challenge everyone that when you're on a chat for another show, pay attention to what she's saying, because she's smart. She really knows her stuff, which is the whole
Thanks.
reason
You're
I
making
wanted
me
her here.
blush. I don't know.
Truly, yeah, don't be going there and there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
worked very
truly.
hard with my group, and
Yeah,
and I love doing it. It's a hobby for me. It's not something that, I want to make tons of money from. I mean, because then it's work, right?
right. It's work.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so not a sustainable income. I'm just having fun with my friends online.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
exactly what I want.
yeah,
And that's why,
yeah,
because you still enjoy it that way. And,
yeah. And
I'm
Trooper
meeting people,
says,
all the people that I met just through even just chat. So
yeah,
when we met up in Kansas City, I was like, I feel like I know all these people already. You
yeah.
know,
And sometimes you like these people more than the people in real life.
I
Just
wish
saying.
they all could be in my club.
Yeah, 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 right, right. Well,
Yeah.
Trooper saying, great seeing both of y'all tonight. Trooper, take care of yourself. Be careful out there on those rigs, dear. He's oil's high and he's working his tail off right now, for sure. But yeah, so everybody, I really do appreciate y'all being here tonight. Daniel says the Gendal is 13 months is pineapple candy, coconut, green apple, and sponge sugar is so unique. Huh. Great for palate fatigue. So if your palate is way overworked, it's almost like a reset dram. It sounds like that sounds great. Awesome. Now, Michael says he spent 3 years in Louisiana and he got back to Washington State. People thought that he talked a bit differently. I bet you did. You bet you soaked this accent up like a sponge, didn't you, friend? Oh, that's awesome. Cool. But yeah, so yeah, everyone, I really do appreciate it. Lana, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I hope everybody has a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, a very safe St. Patrick's Day. Um, I've got Scotch Irish. I mean, we're all Heinz 57, right? We got a little bit of everything in us. But truly, I really appreciate y'all being here tonight, and we'll do something fun next Tuesday. Until then, slàinte y'all.